The next chapter in that story will be written today here inside of Grenada Athletic Stadium as the U.S. and Mexico square off in the final of the CONCACAF Under-17 Women's Championship. Along with Kendra D. St. Aubin, my name is Mark Rogandino. I don't think you could have scripted any better. They met a week ago in group play, a U.S. win, and now they meet for a trophy.
Well, and Chris Qualifier, the Mexican head coach, said that there is nothing better. They need no more motivation than facing the United States in a final here today.
Same could be said for the U.S. because the last time they faced in an elimination game against Mexico was back in 2013 in the semis after 1-1 through regulation down in Jamaica. Arlette Tovar bearing Mexico's fourth penalty, and then Zoe Morse's effort saved by goalkeeper Emily Alvarado. 4-2 win on penalty kicks for Mexico, and they would win in penalty kicks in the final against Canada as well. So the fifth time that these teams meet here at the CONCACAF U-17 Women's Championships, and the U.S. looking to knock off Mexico, who are the reigning champions by virtue of that semifinal and final win 3 years ago. We go to the starting 11s first for Mexico.
Well, and a little bit of a different look against the United States with Miriam Aguirre. She did not start that last match against the U.S., but instead she gets a nod in goal. That back line has been solid throughout the tournament, having not given up too many opportunities offensively. But how about the outside midfielders, Ovalle and Cazares? Cuellar told us this week that they want to get more attack on the wings, on the flanks, get some balls in the box, and Espinoza and Hernandez always dangerous up top, especially when they combine together.
Yeah, it was the number 7 on the right side of the midfield, Cazares, who had the game winner in the semis against Haiti. We go to the starting 11 here for BJ Snow in the U.S.
Well, Laurel Ivory, the goalkeeper, one of only 3 players on this U.S. roster to play every single minute of the tournament. Also in the center back position, Naomi Girma, one of those other players, and Brianna Pinto, a solid piece in the midfield along with Jalen Howell. And then right up the middle of the field, Jordan Caniff getting another start, the youngster on the right side, Ashley Sanchez, Spanstra, and of course Coleman up top with that goal-scoring ability.
And defensively, the U.S. has been so good. It's because they've put so much pressure on the ball, Kendra.
Well, and right away against Canada, you could see it 20-some seconds in, and they took the ball right off the foot against the Canadian defenders, creating opportunities, and they did not let down. That is where their offense started, was with good defense and high pressure, creating those chances. That defense started right from the top all the way through the back.
It's the reigning champions, Mexico, taking on really the best team ever in this competition, the United States. The first half from Grenada is next. It's a rematch of the two teams that finished number 1 and number 2 in Group B here in the 2016 CONCACAF Under-17 Women's Championship. As we look at our referee here this evening, Marie Soleil Baudouin from Canada. And her whistle will get us under play here in the first half. 5th all-time meeting on this Under-17 CONCACAF stage. And the U.S. looking to regain the trophy here in this competition. Mexico looking to become the first team at the CONCACAF Under-17 Women's Championship to win it back-to-back. And we're underway here at Grenada Athletic Stadium. It's the U.S. attacking in all red with a little bit of blue on the top of the uniforms from right to left across your screen, while Mexico come out in the green socks and green tops with the white shorts. They defend the goal to Kendra and my left. Kendra D. St. Aubin, Mark Rogandino, and the rest of our Fox Sports crew, as we're glad to have you along for the final here in the CONCACAF region at the women's Under-17 level. Savannah Coleman, again starting up top for BJ Snow. Not only can she be technical, but her ability to be physical and hold the ball has certainly been on display in this competition. But going over to Mexico, Kendra, I thought Chris Cuellar pretty open with his comments, saying he felt like his team in the 1-0 loss a week ago was pretty good against the U.S., even as far as saying we can play with any of the world's best teams, and that's what we showed in that 90 minutes.
Well, and he felt like in that 90 minutes they were very tactical. They were good in what they wanted to try to accomplish as far as limiting the United States' offensive opportunities, but not creating enough on their offensive end. And there's a nice tackle, something that the United States didn't see much of against Canada just the other day.
Battle for the ball on the far side. It's the U.S. that come away with it. Pinto leading the charge going forward. Coleman has a runner coming from the backside. And Spanstra in on the heart of the area when the cross came all the way over to the back post. Still alive, though, here for the U.S. if they want a second look. Wiesner lofted ball to the backside for Coleman. And Mexico having to bring numbers back behind the ball to help out defensively. This will go out for a U.S. throw.
Numbers back behind the ball, something Chris Cuellar was really hoping for, to get in on the attack almost defensively, so then he can create some transition opportunities for his team. And with that speed on the outside, Cáceres and Ovalle on the outsides here for Mexico, we could see quite a bit of that today.
I thought Cáceres, when she came into the game as a second-half substitute a week ago, Kendra, I thought she definitely brought a spark. And even considering we were told she was battling a bit of an ankle issue, as you see BJ Snow over there on the bench for the U.S. Kendra, his close friends call him BJ.
Close friends call him BJ. CONCACAF likes to call him Brian.
Into the space up the left side for Spanstra, and that one will trickle out for a Mexico throw.
But this could be a good battle on the outsides for the United States, because both teams love to get up the outside. They love to get that defensive backs forward in the attack, use their outside mids. They can pinch in, use that speed. So it could be a fun one to watch on both sides, right and left flank here today.
Ashley Soto with the long throw forward, trying to get it into the feet of Daniela Espinosa. She'll shield the ball against Wiesner there, and another quick throw. Soto, one of a number of players with U.S. ties, and in particular in Southern California. She plays for the SoCal Blues, a teammate of Karina Rodriguez and Ashley Sanchez, both in the starting lineup for the U.S. again here today. Speaking of Rodriguez, there she is, stepping up to clear the ball, ricocheting off Hernandez, and it should be a U.S. throw.
Just a good physical battle there. It looked like Jalen Howell lost that ball out over the sideline, but couldn't keep possession there.
Move up another 15 yards, and the U.S. will toss it in again.
I think both teams will also benefit from the fact that you can see the sun already setting. It's a night game, maybe a cooler temperature. They played in the heat of the day last time they met. But 5 games in 10 days, that's a tough challenge for any team, as BJ Snow told us.
Savannah Coleman running right towards Alessandra Ramirez, who steps in at the center back spot. She was not part of the starting 11 when the teams met a week ago. By the way, that a 1-0 win with the U.S. getting the second half goal through Ashley Sanchez. Soto cannot keep it in, and so the U.S. will line up a throw. Good start here. Maybe not the chances on goal, Kendra, but certainly keeping the action at this end of the field so far.
Mexico having trouble clearing the ball early, even having to clear it out almost over their own end line a couple times.
And now really this is something Mexico do not want to give up, is free kicks in the final third.
Yeah, just a little bit too much with the arms around the waist there, and you could do a little bit with the body. If she would have kept her arms out, I think she would have had some better luck on that one. But that was a good whistle there by the referee. A dangerous chance here, pretty much just like a corner kick for the U.S.
U.S. scored early in their win against Costa Rica. This ball driven into the near post. It took them about 30 minutes to get on the board in the semifinal against Haiti. Long distance effort, but that one will sail wide of Miriam Aguirre, who starts in goal. Again, as Kendra pointed out in the lineups, it was Kelsey Brand in goal the last time these teams met a week ago, but Aguirre today.
When you could even see on the dead ball opportunity, the first chance there looked like Ashley Sanchez might have been going upper corner there near post. She gets a second chance and hits that one out over the end line.
Now, you mentioned the fact that here in Grenada, the sun now setting and cooler conditions in the evening time. I'll tell you what it also has done is, of the games that I've been a part of and some that I've watched on TV, this has been the healthiest crowd certainly I think we have seen. And nice turnout here inside the Grenada Athletic Stadium.
One, I thought cooler conditions, but apparently it's 86 degrees and 70-some% humidity. But I still think not having the sun up, having it setting, does make a big difference on body temperature out there.
Into the space, but out of the reach of Jordan Caniff. Three different players for BJ Snow in the starting lineup out of with 2001 birth dates. Caniff, Wiesner, and Kennedy Wesley. And as BJ Snow pointed out to us, that kind of speaks to the depth and the confidence that he has on each and every player in the roster. Rodriguez will send this one back in the midfield. And the follow-up there from Germa. Finally a chance to settle on the ball. Spanstra with the ball into space. Here is Sanchez. She has no doubt been the breakout player of this tournament. And her first real foray inside the area produces the first corner of the evening.
When again, so dangerous when she comes up that left side, because you don't know, is she going to cut it back and get it on her right foot, or is she going to go to the end line and serve it across? A quick little 1-2 touch. She beats two defenders, keeps it on that right foot, and Aguirre able to make that save just out over the end line.
Brianna Pinto over to deliver the first corner of the game for either team. And certainly Savannah Coleman, who you saw in the shot there, is one of the targets. They go all the way to the back post, and there is Coleman rising up to get to it. Still a second chance as Sanchez hits it with the right foot right into a heart of traffic. And the clearance will come for Espinoza out top. Doesn't have the numbers as you see the red shirts immediately surrounding Daniela Espinoza, but a whistle will go in favor of Mexico.
That's that transition play that we talked about. Mexico, the second they were able to clear that ball on that corner kick, they immediately off to the races trying to find their attackers, their forwards. A double team there by the United States, but Espinoza goes down and draws the foul.
Hey, Wiesner whistled for the foul there. One of those three players I mentioned, the youngest of the group here for BJ Snow in this USA Under-17 team. So we saw the U.S. with a free kick opportunity of their own, and now here's Kimberly Rodriguez to deliver Mexico's. Lofting it toward the penalty spot, and headed, what a big save, still open! And Mexico somehow cannot find the back of a wide open net. What a save from Ivory to initially get a fingertip to it.
And look at the face. Look at this ball in. What? Just enough of a flick of a header goes off that post. Just deflects it enough.
Oh, no fingertip.
No fingertip by Ivory. Hits that post. Not sure on that second opportunity what happened, but the United States might have gotten lucky there.
Well, I mentioned that Mexico did not want to give the U.S. free kicks in their defensive third, but Chris Cuellar told us they had worked on some set pieces of their own and being a little more clinical in their finishing in the final third off the set pieces. That certainly played out well, with the exception of the post as it kissed off and out. Still don't know how the second chance opportunity, Kendra, did not find the back of the net.
It looked like it was a wide open chance, and you could see Ovalle on that back post after the fact kind of put her hands up in the air. So I don't know what happened and how she missed, but Mexico already knocking at the door much more than they did in the first match.
Wiesner skipping forward, the ball at her feet from the left back spot. Good defending from Mexico. And here's Cazares getting around the first wave of defense in Ashley Sanchez. And that ball will roll out in front of the benches for a Mexico throw. Sanchez again wearing the captain's band, the future commit to the UCLA Bruins. So Ashley Soto with the throw here at midfield. Espinosa surrounded by the U.S. defense. Reyes had a chance at the first ball, and now she'll track back there against Savannah Coleman, but good shielding of the ball there from Coleman.
You can see the closing of the gaps for Mexico, something that Chris Cuellar talked to us about, saying he wanted to close those gaps, to high pressure the lines, and the second the United States receiving the ball, they have a player on their back immediately, something we did not see the first time these two teams met. And another physical battle right there. Ovalle and Wesley doing what they can, but Ovalle getting called.
And she's the other player you've alluded to that really the U.S. needs to watch out for, with the pace and skill attacking from wide positions. Keep an eye on that matchup between Ovalle and Kennedy Wesley, the outside back for the U.S. There is Wesley touching it forward into space. Nobody there as it's cleared away by Kimberly Rodriguez. Through 11 minutes, scoreless down here in St. George's, Grenada. Notice anything different from this second meeting now in a final compared to what we saw in the second game of Group B action?
Well, I think the confidence level from the Mexico team is much higher, and Chris Cuellar told us he feels his team has gained confidence every single game, especially against Haiti in that 3-0 win. They've gained some momentum every step of the way, and you can see right away they're stepping out with some more energy, some more high pressure, something they didn't do too much of
following
in the first game.
Following the loss by Kendra against the U.S., 1-0 affair exactly a week ago. They turned around and then they beat Jamaica 1-0. And then, as we've detailed, the 3-0 win in the semifinal against Haiti. So yes, step one of the process for the U.S. would probably be finishing atop your group. Step two was to make sure you win in the semis to make sure you get into the Under-17 World Cup. And now step three to try and raise the trophy here tonight against their arch rival Mexico. Coleman spinning away from defense. Can she get it off her feet? It pops out wide here. Wiesner trying to make a run at it for the U.S. Cazares spinning to clear it away, and that'll go out for a Mexico throw.
Wiesner again getting in on the attack from that left back position, trying to pressure.
Sanchez had already stepped into an offside position when Coleman played the ball in toward her feet.
When you can see that a lot between these two players, and I think she might have been even
pretty close
on the replay, pretty close there, but between Coleman and Sanchez, they find a way to bring the ball into the middle of the field, and the other player makes a diagonal run in behind. They attract the defense and then try to slot their teammate through. It's been pretty effective in this tournament.
Here's Cazares, little explosion of speed to get to the ball. Wiesner has to lay out with the tackle, forcing the throw here for Mexico. And so now Ashley Soto. Trying to find somebody with some movement off the ball. There isn't a lot of it. Kind of tells you about the pace of the game already, Kendra, here in this opening 15 minutes. You see some players really already working up the lather and breathing pretty hard in the humidity here.
She's telling her teammates to check to the ball. I can't throw it that far. Nobody's moving off the ball. Everybody standing still.
Soto tries to swing one in with the left foot. The U.S. step in to win the initial first ball. Wiesner sending it forward towards midfield, but not deep enough. Good composure now. Howell swinging it onto the feet of Pinto.
That's just good passing in small spaces in the United States. It looks like Mexico was going to do some high pressure. Good two-touch, good angles to create for their teammates, and got out of that pressure. So composed on the ball.
Howell will begin things from the back. Checking back deep near the central defense spot to retrieve it. And wide here for Girma. You can see how Mexico trying to keep their shape defensively and slide from side to side as the U.S. swing it across the back. They throw knocked out by Ramirez. Quarter of an hour gone in the first half and scoreless here in the CONCACAF U-17 Women's Championship Final on Fox Sports. It's the fifth all-time meeting between Mexico and the U.S. in this CONCACAF U-17 stage. Coleman trying to knock it down for Sanchez. The return pass never got back to Savannah Coleman. Good defending there from Wiesner as she just takes it right off of the feet of Espinosa. Rodriguez. Pinto. Now Howell. You can see the U.S. trying to avoid the temptation of a big, long ball over the top because Mexico defensively are pinching in wherever the ball is. Pinto brings it down, motioning for a run in the direction. It comes onto the feet of Spanstra. Full head of steam into the space now. Sanchez, can she open the scoring? Sanchez, big save there for Maguire. The follow-up cleared away by Mexico, but still alive here for the U.S. Maybe one too many touches inside the area for Ashley Sanchez.
Well, that's the second time now we've seen her make that run, and she hits it with her right foot. Maybe a little bit hesitant Hit it with the left foot. You'd think on that left side, when she doesn't have the time to cut it back in, she tried to toe poke that one almost with the right.
Here's Sanchez again, this time trying to play it through for Jordan Caniff. Great build-up, though, Ken.
And an awesome run through. I mean, again, just a beautiful through run. She tries to get it back on that right foot and toe poke it past Aguirre. Here she goes, right foot, right foot.
But you can see
just an easy angle there for Aguirre to make that save.
The second touch, it wasn't enough to get out in front of her. It stayed underneath her body where she couldn't completely prepare her and open her hip if she wanted to try and put it in that far side.
And well done by Aguirre, really, to come off her line at just the right time and use her body to block that shot. Didn't let it sneak under her arm or through her legs. And she's going to have to be aggressive like that off her line, because those through balls and those slotting runs in behind aren't going to slow down for the United States.
Since Mexico conceded the lone goal to Ashley Sanchez in their second game of Group B, it's been 2 shutout performances since then, both with Miriam Aguirre in goal, rather than Kelsey Brand, who played the 90 minutes against the U.S. last Sunday. Coleman missed it, but the handball should go here against Alessandra Ramirez. Nope. Reyes looking for Cáceres up the right side. Pinto circles away from the double team and plays back into the feet of Karina Rodriguez. Now Jalen Howe, one of 2 different girls playing for the Real Colorado on BJ Snow's roster. Slow to get it off of her feet. Mexico recovers, but mishit by Soto almost took her coach Chris Cuellar's head off.
Well, and you can see right there on the bench, BJ Snow coming to his feet after Jalen Howell was tackled on that play. And it may have been a foul, but she needs to play a little bit quicker. She had a couple options checking too early. And Wiesner had made that run up the left flank already, so she was not there for a square pass out of the back.
Germa under pressure here, and she'll lay it back for Laurel Ivory.
And that's something the U.S. has been so good at the entire tournament. You don't have to make the perfect pass to spring the forward through every time. Just keep possession and play quickly, 1-2 touch, and the play will come.
I think the last part of that sentence, play quickly, and so far here tonight through almost 20 minutes when they have played quickly, they've had plenty of time and space to be on the ball. It's when the ball is stuck on one player's foot that things have gotten a little bit dicey. Step-in tackle there by Karina Rodriguez, and I believe she took a shot in the process as well.
Well, and she came in making a hard physical tackle, and it looked like Marty Carmen Reyes came flying over the top after that tackle. Oh, yeah. A foot to the face, completely unintentional, obviously, as 2 players just going in hard for the ball. And that follow-through with the foot caught her right in the face.
Rodriguez back up on her feet. Good sign for the U.S. in their defense. Dr. Keith Mitchell, the Prime Minister of Grenada, even on hand here for the 2016 CONCACAF U-17 Women's Final.
Not a bad backdrop there with the ocean and the sun setting and the ship sailing by.
You see that 350 minutes for the U.S. without conceding a goal. The only goal they've given up in this competition came in the first half against Jamaica. Spanstra, nice little ball in with the left foot. Just nobody there on the near post run to try and connect with it. Germa will head it right back in, and here's Howe to corral it. By the way, the goal that the U.S. gave up against Jamaica, just the 4th goal ever in 24 matches that they have given up playing here in this CONCACAF U-17 Women's Championship. Oh, good skill from Pinto. She gets away from 2, and then finally the 3rd defender stepping in takes her down.
Well, and Pinto, one of those players, she doesn't dribble a lot. She's one of those possession-oriented midfielders. Plays quickly, 1-2 touch combination, but this time she tries to take a player on and draws the foul. Well done by Pinto in the offensive third of the field. We'll see if the U.S., this is some good distance here straight on. It looks like they're going to try to chip this ball over in the mix there.
And be aware of the second chance opportunity, the loose ball in and around the area here for the U.S. As we tick into the 23rd minute, lofted directly on target. And I'm not sure that's what B.J. Snow and the U.S. coaching staff was looking for.
A little bit too much under that one. Thought all those players lined up right on the edge of the 18-yard box. Put it in the traffic and see what happens.
Delgado stripped. Savannah Coleman, right-footed shot, and it'll go just wide of the post. Boy, she can pull the trigger in a hurry, and that's why she's found the back of the net 5 times in this competition, 3 alone this year.
Well, not only that, but her hips are going the opposite direction. Nice little combination play there. It looks like Coleman's hips are facing the outside. I don't think the keeper thought she was going to pull that trigger and then come back the opposite way, aiming for the far post.
5th shot of this opening half for the U.S. to just 2 for Mexico. Yeah, going back to the replay there a moment ago, as Coleman will come in and whistled for the handball. That ball hopped up just behind her, but I was going to say on the replay, Kendra, you did not even see Aguirre in goal for Mexico in the shot at all. If that's tucked inside the post, it's 1-0 USA. So the U.S. starting to build a little bit here in these last few minutes.
Here's another look at that last handball. She's trying to...
There's actually even, you saw the offside flag went up before the handball.
Which I don't know if she was offside, but it was a handball. It's pretty close.
Spanstra, she'll play into the space. Coleman doing her best to run it down in a foot race there against Kimberly Rodriguez, who elects to go safety first and sends it out for a U.S. throw.
Remember, she's the player in that last match that looked like she was going to be missing a tooth against the United States. One of their most dangerous opportunities came through on that header right into the back of somebody's head and continued to play on.
Bodies come together here as Howe tried to stick her head in there. Brave from the young woman. 25th minute of play, and we're scoreless here at the Grenada Athletic Stadium in St. George's. It's the final of the CONCACAF U-17 Women's Championship. Kendra D. St. Aubin, Mark Rogandino, happy to have you along here on Fox Sports. Canada winning in the 3rd place game here earlier today to book their spot in the upcoming Women's World Cup coming up later on this year in Jordan. The U.S. have had the better of play, as you would expect, and a couple of quality chances on the Mexico net, but yet to find the back of it so far here through 25 minutes. Fifth edition of this tournament, with the U.S. winning it twice before, back in 2008 as well as in 2012 in Guatemala City. But Mexico are the reigning champions after winning it in 2013. Spanstra running away from Delgado and into the space. Savannah Coleman trying to time her run. The pass came in well timed. Coleman still staying on her feet. Gets away from Soto with the great Cruyff move there, but then cannot whip it in with the left foot.
Well, and sometimes after you've worked that hard to get possession of the ball, keep possession of the ball, and make a turn, she might have just run out of a little bit of a steam there, doing all that hard work trying to serve that ball in with her left foot. And we should note there, Cindy Zandi on the bench just behind B.J. Snow, unavailable, and also Kiara Pickett still dealing with a bit of a quad strain, so she will not be playing in the match today, but nonetheless, B.J. Snow feeling pretty good about the roster he does have available to him.
Yeah, Zandi was not available when these teams met a week ago, but Pickett was in the starting lineup at the left back spot. Delgado picks up the loose ball just inside midfield. Can't find the touch on the pass as Alexa Spanstra steps in to win it back for the U.S., but she'll turn it right back over. Hernandez maybe trying to catch Ivory stepping out off of her line. Looked for the quick hitter with the left foot.
Just a little bit too ambitious, I think, as Hernandez made that turn. Thought she was a little bit closer maybe, but that was 30, 40 yards out. But a quick hit, not allowing the United States defense to step. Ivory, easy save.
And now both teams will organize their shape here. You know, one of the things Chris Cuellar did say to us is he wanted to see his team do a better job of quick, shorter passing and moving in this second-time opportunity in this competition against the U.S. How have they done so far with 27 minutes on the clock?
I think there's been a huge advancement from the last game, and I think a lot of it just has to do with the confidence of the team as well. I'm sure they went back and watched that tape of the United States, saw where they needed to improve their game. The quick, short passing, the movement off the ball, I've been really impressed with. And even defensively, they found a way to slow the United States down at times. If they can get numbers behind the ball and not allow the United States on that fast break attack, they've been able to force some mistakes from the U.S., and even a direct ball or two they've been able to win. Looks like a different Mexico team than the first time around against the United States.
Reyes will try and play the big ball over the top. The U.S. had numbers there to win it, but it turns back over in the midfield. Ovalle sending it out wide. Excuse me, it's Reyes trying to combine with Ovalle out there on that far side. Mexico, if you're just joining us, did have one fantastic sequence off of a free kick with Daniela Espinoza rising up right at the edge of the 6-yard box to win the ball in the air, and a glancing header kissing off the far post. It looked as though U.S. keeper Laurel Ivory was certainly beaten on the play, but the post kept it out, and the U.S. defense came in to scramble and clean things up to help keep us at 0-0 here. Sanchez turns right into the pressure, but the ball stays here for the U.S. Kennedy Wesley working on that far side and tripped up, and the U.S. will have a free kick coming.
Well, and Wesley, another one of those young players, making her fourth start, but she looked pretty dang good in that last game against Canada, getting up in on the attack on that outside. Just a little bit of extra contact there by Ovalle.
I think I mentioned the club SoCal Blues earlier here in the first half. Wesley on that right side, one of 4 players that plays for the club in Southern California. 30th minute, and Kate Wiesner to deliver the free kick. Lofted ball right to the penalty spot. Mexico win the first ball, and now they're able to clear it from inside their own defensive third. Looking to break out here. And here's Cáceres. The U.S. trying to get numbers back. Jalen Howell, the closest player, retreating back for the U.S. Not giving Cáceres any room to operate on the ball, and you could see it was making her uncomfortable, eventually going out for a Mexico throw.
Good recovery by the U.S. there, because again, Mexico going for that fast break attack, trying to get numbers forward and catch the U.S. off guard.
Soto, not enough power behind the initial cross. Delgado, though, hits it first time after it pops out to the top of the 18, and the Mexico captain will send it wide. Into the final quarter of an hour in this first half. Mexico, for what it's worth, are used to playing tight games in this competition. In fact, they have had more draws in this competition than any other team. Kennedy Wesley trying to chase that one down. It's Ovalle to win it. Some numbers inside the area. The cross comes in, headed away by Rodriguez. Not out of danger yet, though, as Mexico with a chance to keep the possession alive. Rodriguez steps in to win it again, and then Gurma will finally clean things up, but Kennedy Wesley still down on the surface here. And you can see her in some pain and pointing to the left knee. It goes back to our conversation a moment ago about no Kiara Pickett available. left knee or left ankle. Both of them look like they landed awkwardly.
Oh, yeah. Almost like she jammed it a little bit there at the end. And again, just a physical play up that left flank. We talked about Ovalle and Wesley being a good physical battle.
It was a little bit hyperextended, as you could see, when she landed. And so the training staff immediately out to take a look at Kennedy Wesley. And this again will go back to the conversation we had with head coach BJ Snow about the depth of his roster and the number of players that he can turn to.
And it looked like there was maybe just a little bit of an extra shoulder to shoulder there at the end by Ovalle, but nonetheless, it was more about how Wesley landed. Both players going hard for the ball, and the way she came down, her body was in the air, so she had no chance to get her feet underneath her any other way. And take another look here, 2 players, and you see that extra little bit of shoulder there at the very end, maybe something Ovalle didn't have to do. Could have been probably whistled for a foul, and that was before we knew that Wesley was hurt. But yeah, she came down awkwardly on that leg.
Kendra, you'd think that, well, we'll see if she's able to continue.
I kind of thought once the stretcher came out, you had to kind of, but maybe she can walk off on her own power and she can come back in, but I don't know.
Izzy Rodriguez and Emily Smith would be the other 2 defenders, with no Kiara Pickett available. The other 2 defenders that probably BJ Snow would look to, or he could elect to move somebody from a midfield spot back to that right back spot and bring someone else into the midfield. Ovalle, good skill in the corner as she sends it across. Espinosa, the glancing header to keep it going inside the E18, but then cleared away by the U.S. So they'll play a player down for the moment.
Well, I think, it goes back to one of the strengths that BJ Snow talked about, the versatility of this team, the ability of players to really move around and play different positions. And clearly everybody can play defense because they do it all over the field. So we'll see who he puts back in that spot if Wesley does not come back in this match.
Soto with the service into the top of the 18. Nobody there initially. The follow-up from Mari Carmen Reyes.
And it looks like, sorry to interrupt, Spanstra is kind of sliding back into that right back position, covering for the missing piece right now.
Here she is trying to chase down the ball there against Ovalle, who just physically pushes her right off the ball. Ovalle is still looking for an opening. Germa will come over, and in fact should have earned the goal kick, because I think she fired it off of the left leg of Jacqueline Ovalle.
Every time there's an offensive opportunity for Mexico, or really any opponent that we've seen in this tournament, I mean, some good work right there by Ovalle. We can see why she is so dangerous on the ball, and having a player like her and Cazares on the outsides, what a difference that makes to open up the middle of the field and for the forwards. But even when under duress, look at the facial expression on Naomi Germa's face. She always looks cool, calm, and collected as Wesley stepping back on the field here. We'll see if she holds up.
And you know, Kendra, if you've ever had some sort of a strain to your knee, sometimes when your body is warm, you can continue on. If it's not serious, you can continue on and play, as it looks like right now Kennedy Wesley will do. But trust me when I tell you, that thing will tighten up after the game, and it'll be tough on her tomorrow. After the game or halftime or whatever it might be. Maybe the more she runs around on it here to wrap up the first half. And at least if BJ Snow elects to indeed make a change, maybe it gives him a little more time to contemplate what the move will be. With a little less than 10 minutes left in regulation here in the first half, and then obviously the halftime break coming up. Well, and we'll see the first time she's challenged on that side again by Ovalle, and that speed we just saw. When she does have the ball at her feet, if she comes right at Wesley, it might be interesting to see how she holds up. Here's her first touch. Since stepping back on. No, excuse me, that was Rodriguez. And now here's Jalen Howell. Direct ball forward. Yeah, good skill to leave it there for Spanstra. Return pass here for Savannah Coleman. Why not pull the trigger? And she rips it off of the crossbar. So each team has hit the iron here in the first half. Mexico with an early strike off the post. And just there, Savannah Coleman ringing the bell off the crossbar.
Just an absolute cannon. We've seen 2 shots from her now in this first half. Just a laser. First, she had that beautiful one touch to bring the ball down and leave it for Spanstra. Spanstra finds her again, and she just rips that ball off the crossbar.
U.S. threatening here in the dying moments of this first half. Out top for Ashley Sanchez. Steps between a couple of players. Still with it on her feet, and Aguirre will fall on it.
And that's a challenge as a defender. You have a player like Ashley Sanchez coming in full speed inside the box, knowing the kind of magic she can work with the ball at her feet, and you're trying not to take the player down and commit a foul and a penalty kick, but defend and not let her walk right through you. And Sanchez trying to work her magic again in traffic, which she has done so many times. And somehow they're able to just get it off her foot, a long touch, and Aguirre making the save.
Reyes all the way back across the back now for Mexico. And this is in contrast to what we looked at to open the broadcast, the high pressure defending all the way up top we've seen from the U.S. throughout most of this tournament. Germa, good step in to win it, playing it wide here for Kenneth. Mexico quick on the throw to put it back in play.
And there's Wesley right there, getting in, physical battle, not even hesitating.
Delgado pushing it wide for Reyes. Hernandez turning to face up there against Rodriguez, who will tackle it out. And Mexico with their first corner tonight. Mexico's best chance here in the opening 39 minutes came off of a set piece. Loose ball inside the area, cleared away by the U.S. U.S. trying to push out of their own end. And here's Ovalle, heavy on the first touch. And there is Kennedy Wesley with the tackle to push it out for a Mexico throw. So that's a good sign for the U.S. right back.
And sometimes when you're in the midst of the play, you're not thinking, you're just doing. So there's no time to think about if your knee hurts or not. She's just going and making a nice tackle.
Hernandez skates away from the first challenge. Rodriguez slides over to defend. Had the right idea, but Ashley Sanchez was hip to it as she stepped in the space to clear it for the U.S. Mari Carmen Reyes keeps the possession alive. Soto, the right back, coming forward to join in the attack. Savannah Coleman helps to win it back for the U.S., but only for a moment. A little disconnected, the two players up top in Coleman and Sanchez.
How often do you see all 11 players for the U.S. in their own half of the field? We've seen it maybe a handful of times, if that. This entire tournament having to drop back. And Mexico here possessing the ball nicely. Taking their time, keeping possession. Trying to see what they can get, minus that long ball.
Griezmann had a little trouble with the clearance. Hernandez keeps the movement going for Ovalle on the far side, onto her left foot. Kennedy Wesley standing tall defensively right on top of things. Mexico trying to play short passes in tight space, eventually a long distance shot though. And I think it was deflected. It was second corner of this opening half for Mexico.
Second corner of the half, and only the fifth corner the United States has given up this entire tournament. So as we're seeing them line up and kind of try to defend these corner kicks, the second of the half, but the fifth of the tournament. So not a position that we see the United States in often.
By the way, I think that would be officially shot number 5 in the first half for Mexico. They had 6 shots alone in the entire game a week ago against the U.S., so much more attack-minded. Here's the captain, Delgado, to serve the second corner of the first half. U.S. looking to clear as it comes all the way through the area. Espinosa dancing on it, trying to turn onto her right feet. Naomi Girma standing tall, the center back.
Ooh. Standing tall, winning the ball, but then a bit of a dangerous clearance there as Girma turns and clears the ball right up the middle of the field about 25 yards out.
And the U.S., before we hit halftime, find a way to unlock Mexico's defense. Sanchez barreling down. Sanchez first time! And why not? She does it again. A game winner a week ago, and she opens the scoring tonight in the final.
And just like that, Sanchez takes advantage of a bit of a miscue in the back. This looked completely harmless. And then right there, a miscue on the header. The keeper comes well off her line. Probably should have stayed home. Or Alessandra Ramirez should have headed it back to her keeper. Nonetheless, it looked like a miscue, miscommunication. Well done by Sanchez, knowing the keeper's off her line and just volleying that one home right over the head.
And I don't want to say it comes against the run of play, but certainly Mexico had been better the last 5 or 6 minutes and in and around the U.S. goal, and all of a sudden the U.S. with their first opportunity in several minutes to go forward, and Sanchez, after, as you said, a defensive miscue, makes Mexico pay. Her 5th goal of the competition, and she gives the U.S. a 1-0 lead just minutes before we hit halftime.
Well, and Aguirre coming off of her line there, she wasn't the goalkeeper that was beaten the first match, but similar play by Sanchez, making a bit of a through run and a one-time flick over the top. This time off that defensive header that didn't quite clear it. Nonetheless, taking advantage of an opportunity there and finishing.
Chris Cuellar in Mexico knew how precise, how focused, and how on top of it they would need to be here tonight if they're going to have an opportunity at defending their crown and in the process delivering the U.S.'s first ever loss in 90 minutes in this competition. And a miscue like that, I think, yes, it's only 1 goal on the scoreboard, Kendra, but I think almost mentally it probably means more than that.
I think it does too, because Mexico has been playing really well, and I think they know that if they do make one mistake, the United States is the team that is going to capitalize. But it's also hard to go into a match knowing that you need to play flawless, that you need to be perfect. And Mexico's going to have to try to do that the rest of the way here.
Well, and certainly that will be part of Chris Cuellar's message probably at halftime. We need to play flawless. We did that for 43 minutes. But one miscue, and Ashley Sanchez and the U.S. have a 1-0 lead. Here's Sanchez stepping in again. Pinto now hits the brakes, waiting for some help to come and join her. It comes in the form of Jalen Howell, pushing to the outside. Spancher should have an opportunity to run this down before it hits the sideline. She does, out in front of Ashley Soto. Cutting back against the grain. And then the service right into a couple of Mexico players to clear it out to midfield. 2 minutes of added time as we're through 45 minutes of regulation here in the first half down here in Grenada. Girma stepping into some space.
I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like the referee is oftentimes in the passing lane when both teams are trying to clear the ball or movement. Whenever someone's checking back to the middle, it's just missing her feet. It would drive me nuts as a player.
I actually thought it was odd that it's the exact same center referee as when the teams met last Sunday.
Yeah, that is. Oh. Is it wet over there, I would assume?
Halfway through the allotted minimum 2 minutes of stoppage time. How good ball in there for Kniff. Plays it forward, looking for Sanchez, just a step away from her. Pinto tracking it down about 25 yards out. And Mexico maybe with an opportunity for one final foray going forward. Cazares, she's got the ability to kick it into fifth gear, and she does so here, trying to turn the corner there against Wiesner. And a good effort from Kate Wiesner as she gets back goal side and knocks it out for a throw.
Well, Chris Cuellar told us he wanted to use the outside more and get the ball in the box. And we've seen that so far in the first half, just not able to capitalize on some of their opportunities they had created. So do you go in thinking positively, we did create, we set out to do what we wanted to do, but man, that one mistake in that late goal, that hopefully it doesn't haunt them mentally going into the second half here.
What about for the U.S.? Great start, I thought, in the opening 10, 15 minutes, and then all of a sudden it kind of lulled a little bit, and they finally get the goal just 2 minutes before the break. We'll get Kendra's thoughts coming up in halftime on this opening 45 minutes. The U.S. through Ashley Sanchez once again, her fifth of the competition, in the U.S. with a 1-0 lead at the break.